Hey guys, Keon here from the Rocket Hideout, coming at you with another top 10 Pokemon video. This time I'm going to be doing my top 10 Pokemon for the poison typing, so let's just jump into it. Number 10. For the number 10 spot, I bring you Arbok. I decided to put Arbok in the number 10 spot because I feel it's an iconic poison type since Jesse had one back in Kanto in the original series. I love Arbok because it's one of the few snakes that we have in Pokemon, but sadly Arbok is not strong at all and I feel like it's frail and really can't compete against threats like Psychic and Ground types, and especially Ground types. Arbok also has some cool designs on its hood since it's a Cobra, but you can't really see this in the game since there's only one design. But in the anime and in the Pokemon universe it has different designs, which makes it kind of unique actually. Arbok has a really good ability Intimidate, which is super freaking good, but unfortunately it can't take on bigger threats in the OU and UU metagame. Even though it resides in a lower tier, it's still fun to use in battle and it looks super cool to look at since it's a King Cobra. Number 9. For number 9, we have the most annoying Pokemon next to Magikarp, and that's Zubat. I know all of you guys must have had a lot of annoying encounters when going through caves and traveling through Mount Moon back in Kanto, but for me, Zubat has a special place in my heart. I really love this Pokemon even though I don't use it a lot, and there's been some playthroughs where I leveled the shit out of Zubat and evolved it all the way into a Golbat or even a Crobat. My fondness of this Pokemon comes from me personally training one and the fact that Team Rocket Grunts also use this Pokemon a lot, and that for me is really awesome since the Pokemon section of my channel focuses on that Team Rocket aesthetic, you know. Zubat unfortunately is only good in Little Cup because, let's be real, Zubat can't really take on a fully evolved Pokemon team with heavy investments. It's just impossible without some sort of gimmick. Overall, I love the aesthetic and the color of Zubat, and it's just straight up one of my favorite poison types. Number 8. One of my favorite poison type Pokemon to always have is Nidorino or Nidorina. I was gonna have just one of this evolutionary line on the list, but I couldn't decide because every time I played through Fire Red or Leaf Green, I have both Nidoran female or Nidoran male. I always leveled the shit out of both of them and end up getting a souped up Nidorino or a beefy Nidoqueen by Missy's Gym or even Lieutenant Surge's. I also feel that like Nidorino by himself is really iconic since it's the first Pokemon you see in the games, and I'm talking about like the intro to Fire Red or to Red and Blue. For Red and Blue, you see Nidorino fighting a Gengar in the games, and you also see the same iconic intro sequence from the Game Boy into the anime to start off the first episode of the series off, which we all know and love to the bottom of our hearts, the Indigo League. Other than that, I'm also very fond of Nidorina as well as Nidorino because the Pokemon to me is aesthetic and nostalgic. It was a hot afternoon at Walmart and we lived in Arizona at the time, and all I had with me was a purple Game Boy Advance SP. As we finished shopping, we were leaving the store, and before leaving Walmart, my Nidoran evolved into a Nidorina, and I was just mad stoked. It was a nice summer day and I loved my SP. The thing was pretty awesome. Small but comfortable, and I played Fire Red and Emerald for days. These two Pokemon are dope and I'm glad I have it on the list. You already know that in this poison type list I gotta add Weezing here. If you see my other videos, you already know that I love Weezing and it's one of my favorite Pokemon. I carry one with me and I normally have another one in the PC with different sets. I use Weezing a lot in double battles, so I trained it differently than the Weezing sets on Smolgun, because normally you use Weezing as a taunter, but taunt is such an overrated move really. For my Weezing, I have Poison Gas, Sludge Bomb, Explosion. The last move can either be, like Will-O-Wisp or Flamethrower. The set is really good because it just has a lot of coverage and it's just like almost like an all-out attacker. Me personally, I'm comfortable with this set and it's won me so many battles, which I'm grateful for. Other than that, I love the color and its aesthetic. Also, another important thing is that James from the anime used to have a Weezing before he released it. He actually evolved it from a Coughing, which I thought was pretty cool. Overall, I think Weezing is a really iconic Pokemon and I feel like more people should like it. Number 6. Just like Weezing, I also gotta add Muck onto this list. It doesn't matter if it's a low Muck or normal Muck, but it's also one of my favorite poison types. I already explained why I love Muck and Weezing in my top 10 Pokemon of all time video, but I don't mind explaining why I love this Pokemon again. So first, I love how it's just toxic sludge. I think the most iconic moment of the Pokemon anime is when Ash caught that big boss Muck that was fucking around with the sewage system on that one city. Other than that, I just love the fact that it can also use Explosion and Minimize, and it's also a poison type on top of that. Alolan is freaking amazing, and normal Muck is just straight aight. They're mad tanky, which is what I like. I like bulky sweepers on my team. It just has access to some pretty unique moves, and I think it's mad underrated compared to other Pokemon. And the majority of players should pick up a Grimer or a Muk for competitive play, especially for double battles. Number 5. For number 5, I'm gonna have to say Swallow would be one of my favorite poison types. I love the battle animation of Swallow in Coliseum and XD Gale of Darkness. It's pretty much a huge stomach that shoots poison at people. The designs are interesting since Swallow and Gulpin came out in Generation 3, but to be honest, I rarely see anyone use them in battle, which is lame as fuck. I feel like these Pokemon have so much potential. I remember spending countless of hours leveling up Swallow, so by the time I was in the Elite Four, I was stacked between the members of my team. Everything I had, including Swallow, was at levels 60 through 70. It carried me hella hard through some of the gyms, and it's just a good Pokemon to go through hone with. It helped me a lot through sticky situations, and I really love this Pokemon, and I'm glad I put it onto the list. Number 4. Number 4, I'm bringing you one of the coolest poison types in the game, Toxicroak. Toxicroak is one of the coolest Pokemon I've had in a while and has an interesting typing. It's a poison and fighting type. I honestly feel like this is a pretty decent typing for battle. My cousin Inari had a couple of them in Sun and Moon, and then I started training one up as well. We used Toxicroak a lot, like we abused the things in battle and the meta that we had created. It was me, my brother, and my cousin, and we had this weird meta going on because we always battled a lot at our uncle's house. It was one of the coolest memories that I have of this Pokemon and my brother and cousin. We'd go to my uncle's house, stay there for like a month, and we just hang out, you know, and whatnot. And one of our pastimes was just playing Pokemon and battling. We'd cheese each other in the hardest ways and cook each other's Pokemon. It was wild, and we got a first-hand experience into a kind of like what was strong and what wasn't. We didn't have really any information on evolutions or anything, so we just kind of went through the game old school style, using only our big Brian to train and clap each other. Surprisingly for our group, Salamence, Charizard, Toxicroak, and Lycanroc was really important in our battles. All three of us had one or two, Toxicroaks, and we just go ham knocking out each other's mons and just dominating the competition. I really love Toxicroak's design, and I'm also happy that Brock got one in the anime. Overall, this Pokemon is just something I would just bring to a battle and have a whole aesthetic around, really. And that's why it's number 4 on this list. It has given me good memories, and I love having one on the team. Number 3. Number 3 is going to come to a surprise to everyone, but I actually really like Toxapex. I know I'm going to get a lot of shit for this, but Toxapex is just perfect for battles, bulky, and has water and poison type moves. I have an aggro style of playing, so once I gain momentum, I'm not going to stop, and Toxapex is perfect for this. It can take a hit, dish out damage, and has an exclusive move called Baneful Bunker that I use, which is like its own protect. I remember staying up mad late trying to find a fucking Marini. Shit was insane. It took me at least an hour or two to find it, but once I got it, I leveled it up hella and was able to get a Toxapex that I used in battle spot doubles. My brother really hated this thing. He'd always say that it's gay that I'm using a Toxapex. Normally, I don't play stall, but man, Toxapex is actually pretty good at that. My brother hated it. I'd always kill him with 1 or 2 Pokemon left and do a reverse sweep using the Toxapex, and he would get so salty. And after a while though, I couldn't use Toxapex anymore. My brother got too used to it, so I ended up switching my Pokemon hella, because whenever I ended up getting Toxapex out, he ended up figuring out how to handle it, and it was kinda gay. But overall, I love Toxapex, and if I find a way to exploit it, then I will abuse it in future games. Number 2. When Generation 4 came out with Diamond and Pearl, I instantly found the one poison type that I would adore for a while. The number 2 spot is owned by Stuntank and Stunky. I love this Pokemon because it's a poison dark type. I love dark types immensely, and add a poison type and you know I'm finna be using this mon in a lot of battles. In terms of competitive, as of Gen 8, I think it's no OU or UU, but it's still fun to use, and it's a freaking skunk, man. That's sick as hell. I love the design, and it's semi-bulky with 103 HP, 67 defense, along with 61 special defense. So in its tiers, not that bad, but in other tiers higher than it, it tends to struggle a lot because of stronger mons, but that's totally okay. Overall, with its mediocre ability, I bulk, it's not that bad, but it gets outclassed hella. But it's okay because you know what, at the end of the day, I still love this Pokemon, and in someone's shield, I'm gonna have to have a couple level 100s of Stunkies and Stuntanks in the back, Number 1. For number 1, I'm gonna have to go with Naganadel, because let me tell you, when I first saw that Poipole, a poison type, can evolve into a poison dragon type, and is an ultra beast, I just lost my mental. It was mad sick to look at, to have, and to battle with. Like, yeah, Nihilego is like cool for being a rock poison, but how often do we really get a chance to get a poison dragon type with decent stats for competitive play? It's almost like it never happens. I feel like the typing is so underrated that we should get more Pokemon with this typing, or at least like 1 to 3 stage evolutionary line at least. I love how Naganadel evolves from Poipole as well. I remember the Sun and Moon anime for Pokemon where Ash caught and released a Poipole was sick, and he later got to see it later on in the anime after it evolved. I was just like, oh my gosh. I think that's mad aesthetic and sick. I just love this Pokemon so much, and let me tell you, it was hard to pick the number 1 spot for this list because it was between Naganadel and Dragalge. Another thing that I know Poipole can do in the anime is draw with its head, and Naganadel assuming that it can draw with its abdomen. One thing that's interesting about this Pokemon is how its design looks between a mix of a dragon and a wasp. I think even its shiny looks like a giant wasp. It's an interesting design choice, but it isn't too bad, you know. Overall, Naganadel was pretty good in battle too. I remember when Poipole came out, everyone and their moms, including me, were abusing it in the ladder. I play only VGC format because I think doubles is way better than singles, and let me tell you something, Naganadel is fucking nasty in doubles. It just has 2 very good typing, and pair it with Incin or something else that needs momentum, and bam, you control the battle if you have a big brain, you know? Overall, I love Naganadel more than any Pokemon on this list, and I hope you guys like my opinions and thoughts on these poison types. If you like this video, make sure to give a thumbs up and turn the bell icon for more videos that I post, and if you agree with this video or disagree or have any opinions, make sure to let me know in the comments down below, and also let me know what video I should do next. This is Keon of the Rocket Hideout signing out.